Hey guys, welcome to Juicy Tea, where I read out the best stories on Reddit, so you don't have to. The funny, shocking, and satisfyingly juicy. Today is Fake or Real Thursday, with the craziest stories that just can't be real. As per a subscriber suggestion, I'm trialling background music in my videos this week. Please let me know what you guys think. Our first post comes from the AmItheAsshole subreddit, posted by Dry Cryptographer 552. Is it weird that my boyfriend's mum walks around naked? Me and my boyfriend are both 22. His mum is in her 50s and walks around the house completely naked at night. She sleeps naked, but doesn't get dressed to go to the bathroom, which is right next to my fiance's bedroom. My boyfriend works odd hours, so is usually awake at night when she gets up. And most nights, she'll poke her head around the door to check on him and his sibling, or chat about something if she hasn't seen him that day. When I stay over, we're long distance due to uni, she'll put a hoodie and shorts on, but I recently found out via my boyfriend's sibling, 16 non-binary, that they've all had conversations at night while she is naked. Is this weird? My boyfriend apparently avoids looking at her, but his sibling doesn't particularly care and will also walk around in just underwear, but not naked. The reason I ask is because I'd be mortified if I saw my mother naked, and vice versa. But she and I have never been particularly affectionate people. My boyfriend and their family are all really close and often hug, kiss, and say I love you. Is this weird, or is it just me? Yep, it's weird. The naked bit anyway. I know different families have different ways of showing love and affection, but walking around naked in front of your kids is definitely weird. I kind of feel like if the genders were switched, this would be getting so much more heat. I mean, was she doing this when he was a teenager too? Ick! He's gonna have some mummy issues. Our next post comes from the AmItheAsshole subreddit, posted by Laughing Housemate TA. Am I wrong for laughing at my housemate when he suggested I don't shower on my period? I, 31 female, live in a share house. One of the housemates, Jack, 30 male, has never lived with a woman outside of his mother, but likes to say he's aware of women's issues and calls himself a feminist. For instance, he doesn't agree with the saying, no uterus, no opinion, because it's my job to be informed about any issue that could affect me if I become a father or a husband, which is fine, until it came to this issue. So, like most biological women, I have periods. I, however, cannot use tampons or cups, due to a condition called vaginismus. It's pads all the time for me, yay! I know, the shock, shower during this time. Wow! I prepare a new pad onto a clean pair of undies, shower as normal, dry myself off in the shower, and then step straight into the undies. And obviously check the bathroom for mess. Jack's never complained, nor has anyone else, so I figured my system was working. Q today, and I can't shower for 48 hours due to a heart monitor test. I was jokingly complaining about how I was going to survive without my nightly shower. And Jack looked up, all confused, and said, "How is this any different to when you're on your period?" I asked him what he meant, and he said, "Well, you can't shower on your period unless you use a tampon." I laughed because I thought he was joking. He has shown before that he's at least semi-educated on women, but he got angry. Jack said, "Wait, what do you do?" And I said slowly, "I shower?" I wasn't getting it, I'm afraid. Jack said, "Without protecting my bathroom. He doesn't own the house," and then went off. Apparently, my period is unhygienic and it can cause infection if left on the shower floor. He was under the impression that I hadn't been showering for a week when I had my period, or using tampons. I said that due to reasons, I can't use tampons. And he told me then I'm banned from showering when I'm on my period, which I laughed again at, but I did apologise for and say, I'm sorry for laughing, but the audacity of that statement. I told Jack that he has no way of enforcing this, nor would I be sticking to it, and he said, fine, then every time you shower, you need to bleach the bathroom afterwards. To which I couldn't help but laugh again, apologising but saying, we're in a share house. That's not reasonable when other people need to shower/use the toilet. And considering I'm sure at least somebody pees in the shower, it's ridiculous to only enforce on me. I brought that up and he said, "Nobody does that. I've never heard of that in my life." Oh, he so does that. So I just had to walk away. Jack's been complaining to the other housemates about this and saying that we need to watch out for me. We all just think he's absurd for banning me, but a couple think I should at least try and compromise, so I'm confused. Am I wrong? My question is, what's he doing on that bathroom floor that he's worried he'll get an infection from it? You should tell him that his mum definitely used to shower when she was on her period, while sharing a house and bathroom with him. And our last story comes from the Best of Redditor Updates subreddit. Trigger warning, our next story has a fair amount of profanity. Posted by Greg Got a Reddit. Opie has a horrible Kevin neighbour. So, a new neighbour just moved in across the street, and I already have plenty of stories. Now I know what you're expecting, just another story about how the new neighbour is so loud, or how he won't mow his lawn and it's lowering the property values, and, well, let's just say I would slap my own grandmother across the face with a golf club to be complaining about something as simple as that right now, because my neighbour is, you guessed it, a Kevin. So let's begin then. It all started just after he moved in. He had just pulled into his driveway and, being the friendly guy I am, I walked over to say hi. This was obviously unsatisfactory for Kevin, who already seemed to be pissed off by my mere presence. So I decided to do the stupid thing and introduce myself anyway. He was driving a very similar car to my own, so I asked him what year it was. He told me that it was a 2021, and I responded saying I had a very similar car, it was just a year newer. He didn't say anything, but I could tell he was pissed. So I complimented the colour of his and went about my business. The next morning at 7:30 AM, I'm awakened by a loud screeching noise. And when I look out the window, I'm surprised to see none other than Kevin, rolling up in a beat-to-shit Honda Civic, which genuinely looks like he found it at a junkyard. It literally is the rustiest thing I've ever seen. The windows are mostly shattered out, and it makes a loud squealing noise as it drives. Every 20 feet it backfires and shoots smoke out of the exhaust. Shit. That's all I can think as I crawl back into bed, and just as my head hits the pillow, Kevin starts screaming. "Looky here, what the fuck I just found at the dealership, SHEIKH." My name is Greg, he just won't call me that. "It's even got fucking tyres on it, which I'm sure you're surprised to see I can afford, with your car being an entire fucking model year newer than my shitbox." Just then, I hear the squealing get even louder for a second, and then there's a loud crash as his car slams through the fence, which used to go around his yard. So you'd think he was drunk or something, right? Wrong. At this point, I'm back at my window trying to figure out what the hell is going on, and I see Kevin get out of his car and walk all calm like, in a perfectly straight line mind you, so he isn't drunk, to his garage, where he disappears for 2 seconds before reappearing with a sledgehammer, which he proceeds to beat the ever-loving shit out of his shiny new shit model. The entire time screaming things at the top of his lungs like, "This fucking piece of shit, why the fuck would it need a fucking windshield? Oh yeah, that's right, it fucking doesn't. Smash. Needs some fucking bodywork, doesn't it? Wham. Why the fuck does this door have a handle on it? Oh yeah, boom, it fucking doesn't." Yeah, what a lovely neighbour. And guess what? I already have about 10 more stories about him, and he's only been my neighbour for about a month. I hope at least someone can have a good laugh about what is currently my infuriating living situation. Well, that was just a tad dramatic, and the award for the biggest overreaction in all human history goes to Kevin. What did you say to him? Surely there must have been more to get this type of reaction. No one is this petty. And oh my god, I want to hear the 10 more stories, please. I know this seems to be my reaction to everything, but I'd move. Down in the relevant comments, someone says, "I'm concerned for you." Yeah, I agree. Opie responds and says, "Thank you for your concern, but I don't know there's any need to worry. So far he hasn't actually done anything illegal. He's just completely nuts and fully committed to making my day-to-day life a living hell." Oh, well I'm sure it's totally fine then. This guy's totally emotionally stable enough to stay within the bounds of the law. Opie adds another story. 'Twas the day before Christmas, when all through the town were heard the screams of Kevin. "Put your fucking Christmas lights up right fucking now!" The neighbours all stared. Oh, what a shocking surprise! Christmas had come on the 25th of July. And while everyone watched in complete shock and awe, Kevin set up about 20 billion Christmas lights they'd gone out and bought. Oh, now I feel kind of bad. He's clearly got some kind of mental issue. So as I mentioned in my last post, Kevin moved in about a month ago, and I already had quite a list of stories to tell. I was going to post something yesterday, but honestly, I couldn't decide which story to tell. Worry not. Kevin decided to help me out in the most annoying way that he could possibly conjure up. If you guessed Christmas in July, then you'd be exactly right. As I sat in front of the computer, wondering whether I should tell the story of Kevin's amazing 4th of July show, or maybe the one about how he sank a giant telephone pole in the middle of his front yard for seemingly no reason, or possibly all the latest and greatest modifications to his freshly sledgehammered shitbox car. There came a scream from outside. The scream had originated from none other than Kevin himself. And what was he screaming about? You guessed it. It was time for everyone in the neighborhood to put their Christmas lights up. Right fucking now. Now, most of the time I know and I'm willing to admit when I make mistakes. Let me tell you, going across the street to ask Kevin why in the world anyone would put up Christmas lights in July was definitely a mistake. Because why the hell would it being July mean that Kevin shouldn't put up Christmas lights? That simply doesn't make sense. At the end of the day, the real question is, what kind of jackass wouldn't put Christmas lights up in July? What makes the Christmas of July any different than the rest of the Christmases this year, right? And oh, if it only ended there, but it didn't. Not only did Kevin put up an amazing amount of lights, but he also put many ornaments in his front yard. But so what, right? After all, it is Christmas. You should expect him to have both lights and ornaments. Just not the kind that he had. And the normal person does not do to their ornaments what Kevin did to his. Of course, there was a few standard ornaments in his lawn. For instance, he had a blown up sleigh with all of Santa's reindeer pulling it, and a few blown up snowmen. But along with all his normal ornaments, he also had set out about 40 mannequins, all wearing Christmas hats and elf shoes. Strange, right? Now notice that I said he had these ornaments? Yeah, that was meant to be in the past tense, because at 7:30 AM this morning, Kevin walked out into his yard, dressed like Santa, screaming his head off and wielding his beloved sledgehammer and a baseball bat. He beat the ever-loving shit out of each and every one of his ornaments, and then he ran them over several times with his lawnmower, the entire time screaming things like, "Eat shit, Santa! I'm gonna bash your fucking skull in, Rudolph!" Or, "You piece of shit, mannequin! You can't hide from Kevin fucking Firecrotch!" Kevin Firecrotch is a nickname which for some reason he's come up with for himself. And this whole time, he blasted the song "Here Comes Santa Claus" through a massive speaker which he had sitting on his front porch. It was truly fantastic. So, in honor of Kevin, I wish you all a Merry Christmas. Remember, I post new content every day, so subscribe for more juicy tea.